Welcome to another episode of the Valero Verdict. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the 2025 live action film, How to Train a Dragon. Obviously, over the last few years, we have seen so many different variations of the live action world brought to life, and some have been hidden, some of them have been stunned or been awful. All right, How to Train a Dragon obviously was written and directed by Dean DeBlois, who also is the creative visionary behind the animated version of the film. To me, step one in the correct way of approaching this, involving the individual who created the original animation trilogy, who is lauded by many people, whether it's critics or fans, a lot of people. All right. On the rugged island of Berk, where the Vikings and dragons have been bitter enemies for generations, Hiccup stands apart. The innovative yet overlooked son of Chief Stock of the Vest, Hiccup defies centuries of tradition when he befriends Toothless, a fiery night fairy dragon. Their unlikely bond reveals the true nature of dragons and challenging the very foundation of Viking society. Like I said, this stars Mason Times as Hiccup. Gerard Butler reprises his role from the animated franchise. And it also stars many individuals: Julian Dennison, Gabrielle Howe, Brown James, and a host of others. It's also produced by three-time Oscar nominee Mark Platt, Emmy winner Adam Segal. And of course, this was offered in IMAX technology to deliver the most immersive movie experience to audiences across the world. Now, let's talk about the film. I'd be honest with you guys, I am not somebody that loves How to Train a Dragon animated films. I didn't think that they were great. I didn't think they were bad. I just thought they were okay. Now, did I think this was something that really needed to be done into a live action world? This is something also I don't believe. But personally, when I walked into this film, in a live action, you want it to honor the original, but you want it to come out with some unique, fresh perspective. And that to me is where this stood out. This had a lot more heart than I kind of expected it to. It had a lot more raw emotion. I thought the connectivity between Toothless and I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head right now. Hiccup and Toothless's relationship, I love how they developed that. To me, when you watch the original, that was kind of your foundation of their relationship and how they were going to bring that to life. And then, of course, on the flip side, you have Gerard Butler, who is a veteran in this game, who reprised the role of the voice in the animated franchise of Chief, as the chief here. To me, this is where I feel like the film really got a lot right. The relationship between Hiccup and his father, there's always that push because Hiccup isn't your typical, I'm going to be a Viking, I'm taking over the world, and I'm going to kill everybody. And on the flip side, his father is frustrated with basically who his son is. He's not accepting his son for who he is as a person. He's not accepting the idea of being anything different or anything other than the Viking that he should be when he grows up. That strained relationship really causes friction as as we see Hiccup go through the academy and him trying to become a quote unquote Viking. And that element of this really kind of elevated some of the story that we had within there. Now let's talk about the remaining part of the cast here, because I felt like I like this cast. I thought the cast was pretty strong. Mason Times is great as Hiccup. And then of course, where is it Hiccup's rival? Is it Gabrielle? Trying to remember the young lady's name. Nope, that wasn't. I did like I like the rest of the supporting cast here. Is it, who am I missing out on? Who's this? What's this girl's name here? Let's see here. She's right there. Nico Parker. Okay, that is her. Okay, Nico Parker as Astrid. Brilliant casting. I loved her. I thought she was great addition to the cast. I thought the chemistry between her and Hiccup, brilliant. I love the foundation of what they built there. The relationship between those two, it brought several different elements, because overall you're looking at the film. It's got a fun little story, because again, we as adults are going to have to take our kids to see this film. So it's got to check a lot of different boxes for both sides of the fence. But then also you're honoring something that some adults might have saw when they were kids as well. So you have a balance of both of those things in this film. And for me, That's what stood out. You had a little bit of a heart. You had some fresh comedy. Obviously, the comedy in this is very funny because you have that back and forth banter between everybody. You have a story that builds on the father-son relationship that's hampered, and the development of bringing Hiccup and Toothless together and how that formed into the union that ultimately changes the shape of the entirety of how everybody sees things. To me, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was pretty good. I give it a solid 3.5 stars out of 5. And ultimately, this is one of the better live action films that we've seen. So I would highly recommend checking it out with your kids. If it's something that you just want to check out on your own, you got one of those little AMC stubs or you got the Regal Crown Unlimited. Go check it out on the big screen. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you check out How to Train a Dragon, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll talk to you guys later.